guys, and welcome to another review. I apologize for not really posting as much on this podcast, but things have been kind of busy, just moving out of my dorm for the semester and getting done with the semester overall, so I will definitely have more time to do more reviews, especially on here. So today I'm going to review Royals by Rachel Hawkins. And I'd like to thank Penguin Teen for sending me an early copy as part of the blog tour. This book does come out this Tuesday, so I'm very excited for other people to read it as well. It's, obviously by the title, it's centered around, a royal family. And it's kind of like, the whole What a Girl Wants thing, that movie with Amanda Bynes where, a common girl whisked into the royal life. We have Daisy, who is the younger sister of Ellie, who is marrying Alexander, who is basically a prince. So it's kind of like, just similar to the whole Meghan and Harry thing, where Meghan was, a commoner and, Prince Harry. And this book was really very cute. It was funny as well. It was well-paced, but it was shorter than I thought it would be, so I kind of do feel that more things could have happened, but it definitely kept me interested. It was very funny, and I really loved Daisy's character. She's got eccentric hair, she's not the normal human being. The one thing I really loved about her character, though, is that she didn't take that stereotypical step into the royal life and get changed by it. She didn't get all depressed or sad or anything because she had to lose herself in the process of living among the royals. So I really love that. So I'm glad it didn't take that, kind of turn. She's very witty, and like I said, she's true to herself no matter what happens in the book. And a lot happens in this book. There's a lot of snarky comments that Daisy gets from the royals, and she just throws it back in their face. So really, she is told to, act a certain way, especially by her sister, because, this is royalty. But Daisy she stays true to herself. She doesn't let herself change by this different atmosphere that she's forced to be a part of now, especially when there's paparazzi all over the place, following her. So she's probably my favorite character in this book because she stays Daisy, and her character is just, I think she makes the book. I want to talk about her sister Ellie. Ellie is very, very hard to like just because she got on my nerves, and it was always about her, which is understandable. She's going to be marrying royalty, and, it freaks her out because, her parents are kind of on the different side. They're not really proper, they don't fit in with the royalty, but it's understandable why Ellie would be all anxious about all this, but it did go too far in my opinion because Daisy had these plans to hang out with her best friend during the summer, and as soon as Ellie gets engaged to be married, they are automatically taken to Scotland, so Daisy's plans are just ruined, which we're told in the book has always happened. If Daisy wanted to do something, then it was always taken away because something happens with Ellie. And I really didn't like that. It just didn't make me like Ellie. There is redemption in this book, of course, between Ellie and Daisy, but I don't know, Ellie's just not my favorite character. It was hard to like her, even after the end of the book. I know there's going to be a second book, so I'm sure that's going to revolve around the wedding itself. So I have a feeling Ellie will probably go back to being all, nervous about everything coming together, and everyone behaving, stuff like that. So it's interesting to see how that would play out. But it did make me feel bad for Daisy, because Daisy's forced into this, and Ellie didn't really talk to her about it in the first place. It just kind of happened. And there were moments too where Ellie would always blame Daisy for certain things that would happen that was not Daisy's fault. So it's just that sisterly drama that just gets on your nerves because you know who's at fault here. And you know which sister is, taking it overboard and, just, not listening, which is Ellie here. So, enough about that. So Sebastian, he is supposed to be, I guess the way I would see it is he's kind of similar to how Prince Harry was, when he acted like a playboy in the past. Always got into trouble, that kind of thing. Sebastian is very egotistic, in my opinion. He's very easy to hate because he just makes the worst decisions. It's all about partying, drinking, quote unquote, shagging people, or whatever. And there really is no redemption for him in this book, which I honestly don't care about because I just didn't like him. Because he doesn't care about anything but himself. And there is a moment in this book where he reveals something to Daisy. And honestly, he literally gets a drink thrown in his face by Daisy because of what he tells her. And I really feel like Daisy should have slapped him in the first place. Because I don't want to reveal the secret, of course. But he just only cares about himself, even to the end, I think. And he was just ridiculous. Do I think he might have redemption in the second book? It's hard to say. Probably because, this is YA literature and everyone has to have some kind of redemption. But if he didn't have redemption in the second book, I would not be upset. So, by the way, apologies for sniffling. I'm pretty sure I had to sneeze, but it didn't come, so yeah. Okay, so Miles, he is not a royal. He's kind of the character who is, put on hold by the royals, in case something happens and they need to get out of a sticky situation. He'll be the person they go to when they need someone, when they need the paparazzi to look like, that someone in their family is pretending to date someone and that someone is Miles, So he's like, a prop, basically. And I find that just gross. I mean, because it's a gross representation that the royal family has on him. And really, it's just sad. He is a stereotypical male character, though. He hates Daisy right off the bat because of what he thinks she is, and, he thinks that Daisy is off to get Sebastian. And Miles and Sebastian are kind of friends. I mean, they care about, Miles cares about Sebastian, wants to get him out of trouble whenever it happens. And, he doesn't want Daisy to interfere in Sebastian's life, so automatically he hates Daisy, of course. He's got that look on his face when he first sees her, of disgust. I don't want to be near you, just get away from me. So, we've seen that multiple times in young adult books, of course. But Miles, I liked his character. He tries to be a good friend to others, even when he's in this kind of position amongst the royal family where he's used as a prop. So, major props to him for just, still trying to be a good friend to everybody and still trying to be nice. Of course, there is a relationship brewing between Miles and Daisy. And I didn't really see much growth between them. I guess it's not really insta-love. But maybe it's because the chapters kind of did the whole thing where it was okay, it's been a few weeks and now we're here, or stuff like that. So maybe that's what it's about. Maybe I feel like the book could have been longer and more interaction between Miles and Daisy rather than just trying to save Sebastian from sticky situations or something like that. But I do think there could be more growth between them, and just more scenes. And more scenes in general in the book itself, because it was kind of short. I didn't expect it to be that short. And I'm not so crazy when books do that thing where it's like, okay, it's been a few months and we're here. Like, you just skip 3 months or 3 weeks or whatever. Because, what did happen in between that time that's not there? Did something interesting happen? It could be relevant to the story. But, it was a good book. I enjoyed it, and I do hear, or at least see on Goodreads right now, that there is supposed to be a second book. So, I'm very interested to read that, and I'm sure it's going to revolve around the wedding between Ellie and Alexander. So I'm curious to see what would happen. Because at the end of the book, we return to Daisy's home. She's not in Scotland anymore, so I'm assuming she'll just go back, or if she'll live in Scotland, or what will happen. Hopefully, Daisy won't have that transformation where she gets sucked into the royal life without wanting to be, and feels like she has to act a certain way in order to make people happy. Hopefully that won't happen, but I'm kind of nervous it will happen anyway. But I did, like I said, I did enjoy this book. Just maybe it could have been longer, a little bit more growth between characters. But I'm very excited for the second book, so I'm really happy that Penguin Team sent this to me and let me be part of the blog tour. Royals by Rachel Hawkins. It comes out this Tuesday, so make sure you go pick it up and buy it and take a pretty picture with it because the cover is so cute. And I will catch you guys later. Thank you for listening.